Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network, and welcome here to the review for Riverdale. Riverdale reviewing series here for season 3, episode 14, chapter 49. Fire Walk with Me. A pleasant episode as our characters learning and growing. Well, maybe not so much for Archie, but for most of the others. Another great episode. Especially Veronica and Betty. Remember from season 1, seeing their bodies and everything, and that one scene specifically. Let's just say back in the day. But yeah, wouldn't mind seeing those two play by spread, let alone more bikini shoots with them together. Just saying. But moving along, let's just move forward. As the second half of the season of Riverdale moves forward in itself, most of our characters are now in flux, early being pushed ahead into the storylines that will dominate upcoming episodes. Thus, we have Betty doing her best to her homage, Veronica scrambling to regain control of her pledging business, Jughead figuring out the Serpent's future, and Kevin getting in deep with the farm. It's a handful for sure. And then there's Archie, who gets played and then stabbed by a child in the episode. Riverdale's Archie problem shows no signs of going anywhere away anytime soon, but hopefully his decision to play the Griffins and Gargoyles game he is unknowingly involved in to its bitter end will give more narrative meat to chew on moving forward. The upside, at least the stupidity here, is understandable. Archie feels grateful to have loved ones who help him through his recent trials, and he wants to pay such kindness forward to Ricky. The argument can be made that the very fact he lives in Riverdale should be the reason enough for him to, but still, Sorrow gargoyles are still out there for Archie's blood. There's no real explanation as to why this is, but as with all things Riverdale, it's always best to just go with it and see where it goes. My gut instinct, though, is telling me that still says as well that this is eternally game of G&G will connect directly with the farm, which brings us to Betty. The shadowy farm cult, complete with Scientology-esque lingo like the tractor, has Betty surrounded by all sides. Her mother is selling their house in order to live with the group 24/7, which will not only make her homeless, but further fuel her fire of hatred for the hilariously named Farmies. But worse still, Kevin is not totally brainwashed, barking at Betty and generally loving whatever kind of freaky hootenanny thing the farm has going on. Betty can't even write in an expose to trash the farm because thanks to Alice, the group knows about the shady man cover-up. Convincingly forgetting that her boyfriend's super corrupt dad is the only source of law enforcement in her garbage town, she slams her laptop closed in frustration. Then, after briefly toying with the idea of doing her own trial by fire to see if the farm is into something, she decides to say screw it and turn the tables by igniting the house and her memories. So interesting. Dark Betty is back, and how I missed her, and how she looks in need as that. Jughead's streak of being the single worst gang member in pop culture history continued undeterred, with his big plan to save the serpents involving joining up with the Riverdale Police Department. Now, granted, we know that the little hamlet is so utterly lawless that its current mayor is a former cook with a corpse of abuse, so it's not like Jug is getting his pals associated with the Boy Scouts. Yet the optics of this really look bad, and certainly going to be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, how can any gang earn respect among their peers and be taken seriously if they aren't informing the cops about things as well? And this is some Archie level here, folks. Is anyone else getting the suspicion that all the gangs in the show are not long for this world, except for maybe the Pretty Poisons, who are clearly fantastic and deserve to be the last gang standing whenever the show goes full the Warriors on us? Veronica is still dealing with the consequences of destroying the large family drug operation. She not only is losing money constantly by having to pay off her debts to Hiram and Gladys, but now she has the pair who deserve each other, causing problems in her business. Her solution is to stop these low rent gangsters, one of them constantly has a knife on the ready, by hiring a gang of high schoolers as security. This all makes a great deal of sense, I guess. While largely a placeholder episode, Firewalk with Me does a solid job of setting up future plot points and conflict. Absolutely. Dang it. We already see trouble on the horizon, but there's also G&G madness to come, and we haven't even scratched the surface of the farm yet. There's always an upcoming production of Heather's musical too, or as well. Riverdale, you can truly do it in one time, but I appreciate the effort. Riverdale Roundup. This review episode, and the episode itself is dedicated to the memory of Luke Perry, who passed away, whose portrayal of Fred Andrews was the emotional core of Riverdale. His death is still so shocking and unexpected that I still am having problems wrapping my head around it. I was very surprised to hear the news when it did come down the pike. Didn't believe it. When all that he's done in his career, to include projects like Beverly Hills 90210 and others, and all his fans that love him so much. His untimely passing obviously creates a massive narrative hole in Riverdale moving forward, but to speculate on how the show will handle it feels ghoulish to me at this point to bring up, because that's not the main thing. That's not the biggest thing. It's life, and friends and family lost a family member. It's real and serious. At some point here down the road, the creators and writers of Riverdale will deal with that part of it, but for right now, that can be dealt in-house and talked about, but not publicly at all, because that's just insensitive, at least at this time. Because it was just simply too soon. Even his brief appearance in tonight's episode was profoundly sad. He left us far too early, and if this review seems a little more serious than usual, it's because it was a difficult experience watching this week with that happen. As I imagine it will be for the immediate future, Perry was such a large part of not only Riverdale, but our pop culture, the landscape in general. And he's gone, and it's awful, and all we can do is be thankful for the great work he leaves behind for us, and for the life that he did leave and lead. Living life to the fullest. And I certainly did enjoy seeing him portraying Fred Andrews, and some other things that he did in his past as well. But I just wanted to share that. That was my top quote unquote side note. Dang it. Why am I yawning? But anyway, seriously, moving on with some other little notes and nuggets. Does Riverdale High have a counselor? If so, can he or she please talk to Veronica about how utterly unhealthy it is for her to still be living at Pembroke with her parents? Maybe she and Betty can get a place now that the Cooper homestead has gone up in smokes. Veronica and Betty. HLA happening. They live in their own places. The Chris character, I don't like to call kind of his jib, but he certainly, we'll see. Eventually, Mr. Weatherby was nowhere to be found during Chris's little gravity experiment with fangs. There must have been a great bolo tie sale somewhere. Remember, teens running a nightclub / illegal casino is really tough, especially when you're a junior in high school. So, there you go. Good luck. Another note here's the thing. Ricky is absolutely a psychopath, but you've got to admit the kid probably has a solid future in the art world. That drawing of the Gargoyle gang attacking that he drew in Pops looked like a Tim Burton storyboard. That's when I feel really bad for Pops, that he is forced to put on fancy attire and work in Veronica's speakeasy. knowing that her business practices are shady and he is super against all this. I love for another so that focuses on people like Pop, Dr. Carl Jr., Smother, etc. That shows how the bad behavior of our leads screw up with their lives. The background characters, just like MLP, FIM, the background ponies, and how they had the episode 100 all about the background characters and their own little stories, and how the main six didn't really mess up their lives, but changed it. It was entertaining. For that, hopefully, maybe even get that here in Riverdale. If you went into a shoot-up nightclub and they just let anybody get up and sing, their reviews would be right. Veronica needs to consider that. That said, more Gina Gershon performances, please. Betty is way too smart to be fooled by the old walking on burning coal scam. Has she never seen Mythbusters? And a couple other notes here I have. This one being, when will we see Ricky again? Or has he in the way of Chick? Best case scenario, him and Chick come back like some kind of also a robot of pain and come and kick some butt. On the No Escape episode of Incredible Hulk, Jack Kirby cameoed as a police sketch artist. It was a great tribute to one of the comic's greatest legends and gave Smiling Jack the opportunity to be a part of a series that he helped set in motion. Although many of the Archie comics greats are no longer with us, it would have been nice if the sketch artist seen in this latest episode was someone from the company's present, like Robert Hack, or Dan Parent. When Tony goes to work at Abonnie to Crystal opts to stay in and catch up on her reading. We see her with a copy of the Claire Morgan, Patricia Higgs Smith novel, The Price of Salt, a landmark moment in the history of lesbian literature and totally in tune with what the character would read. Now that Pretty Poisons are protecting Veronica's club casino, if someone doesn't sing the Pretty Poison dance classic Catch Me I'm Falling, by the time the season ends, then it's going to be promised. Again, a couple of the notes here, just side notes. Gladys being referred to as the Joan Jett of Riverdale. Interesting. While I appreciate our Batcave enthusiasm, I still don't believe that neither Pop, Veronica, or Reggie have the business acumen required to run a secret casino. Maybe more so Veronica, but how about Reggie or Pop? Betty's advice to Google Alice Cooper is the funniest gag the show has done in ages. Loved it. Definitely was an LOL moment. I'm especially in love with this episode's title, not only because of the fact that we see a little fire walk here, but also forever due to any reference to Twin Peaks past. Let that be the review for Riverdale. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, or what I think, and think of things. Like the video, share it, comment, subscribe, and all the other fun stuff. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, your weekend as well. You're living in your area and above all else. As always, take care.